The spark of war. The trial. Elias Carter was 7 years old when the Galactic Council executed him. The chamber was vast, filled with towering figures of a dozen alien species. The Council's judgment hall was meant to inspire awe, but to Elias' parents, Ambassador Marcus Carter and his wife, Dr. Evelyn Carter, it was a place of horror. They stood in the center of the room, bound by energy restraints, while their son knelt before the tribunal. He was just a child, small, frail by alien standards. His wide brown eyes darted between the massive figures surrounding him. He didn't understand why they were so angry. Marcus did. "This is madness," he roared, struggling against his restraints. "He's a child. He didn't know." "Silence," intoned High Chancellor Vorshin, his elongated, reptilian face unreadable. "Humanity has long forgotten its place in this council. This transgression cannot go unpunished." Elias had wandered where he shouldn't have, into a restricted area beneath the council spire. It had been an accident, a mistake. But the council did not tolerate mistakes from humanity. "Please," Evelyn pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "He's just a boy. If punishment is required, take me instead. Not my son." A low murmur rippled through the chamber. Some council members averted their gazes. Others watched with cold disinterest. Humanity had never been fully accepted into the interstellar order. They were tolerated, a minor species allowed to participate, but never respected. The executioner, a hulking insectoid, stepped forward. Its multi-limbed form held a sleek, curved energy blade. Marcus strained against his restraints. "If you do this, Earth will." The blade fell. A small, lifeless body crumpled to the floor. For a moment, there was only silence. Then Evelyn's scream shattered the air. The council members stood, their judgment rendered. "Let this be a lesson to your kind," Vorshin declared. "Humanity is weak. It will always be weak." Marcus barely heard him. His mind had gone numb, his vision red with grief. But his instincts, honed by decades in service to Earth, kicked in. His neural implant pulsed, sending an encrypted signal to his ship in orbit. A single message was transmitted across the stars, racing home to Earth. "They killed our son. They must pay." Then the guards executed Marcus and Evelyn Carter. Earth's response. When the footage of Elias Carter's execution reached Earth, the world fell silent. It played on every screen in every city. Billions watched as a child was murdered for the crime of being human. There were no debates, no discussions, no speeches. Only a single order from the United Terran Directorate. Unleash the Armada. Beneath the surface of Mars, ancient war factories roared to life. Deep in the ice fields of Europa, buried weapons came online. In the asteroid belt, shipyards hidden for centuries began assembling warships once thought myth. Humanity had never been weak. It had simply hidden its strength. Long ago, before the Galactic Council had risen to power, Earth had ruled the stars with an iron fist. Humanity's first expansion had been violent, ruthless. They had conquered, subjugated, and then, when the war against the old enemy nearly destroyed them, retreated, sealing away their greatest weapons. The Galactic Council had assumed humanity was primitive, incapable of galactic warfare. They had been deceived. The Elders' Armada, the most powerful fleet ever constructed, had waited in the darkness. Now it would awaken. The final warning. In the heart of the United Terran Directorate, Grand Admiral Alexander Graves stood before the High Command. He was an old man, one of the few who knew the full history of humanity's hidden power. He had sworn never to use it, but some sins could not go unpunished. "The Council believes we will submit," he said, his voice even. "They think we will cower. They are mistaken." A holographic display flickered to life, a battle plan. Targets marked across the stars. The Council's military installations, their shipyards, their command centers. "Operation Stormbringer is greenlit," Graves declared. "No negotiations. No half measures." Across Earth's colonies, soldiers prepared for war. Pilots climbed into cockpits. Warships powered up for the first time in centuries. A single transmission was sent to the Galactic Council, awakening the Titans, the sleeping giants. Beneath the ice of Titan, something stirred. For centuries, the Elders' Armada had slept in the darkness, buried beneath the frozen crust of Saturn's largest moon. Hidden from the prying eyes of the Galactic Council, the fleet had remained dormant, its ships preserved in cryodocks, waiting for the day humanity would call upon them again. That day had come. Across the solar system, classified installations that had lain dormant for generations now roared to life. Automated AI cores flickered online, checking systems that had not been touched since the days of the Old War, a time when humanity had been something far more terrifying than the pacifists the galaxy now believed them to be. Deep within the command station on Titan, Admiral Alexander Graves watched as data streamed across his display. Reactors powering up. Hull integrity confirmed. Weapons systems charging. The past was waking. Status report. Graves ordered. Commander Lena Cade, his second-in-command, scanned the data. Fleet integrity at 92%. The Excalibur, Iron Requiem, and Void Sovereign are online. Weapons systems fully operational. Our stealth corvettes and dreadnoughts are waking up now. Graves nodded, his expression unreadable. The Excalibur, Earth's last surviving warship from the Golden Conquest, had once turned entire planets to dust. It had been deemed too powerful, too dangerous to use. Now it would burn the Galactic Council to the ground. The Void Walkers? Graves asked. They're en route to Luna Command, Cade confirmed. Graves exhaled slowly. The Void Walkers, humanity's most elite pilots, had been trained in secret for this moment. The Galactic Council had relied on AI-driven combat tactics for centuries, believing organic pilots obsolete. But humans had mastered war in ways machines never could. This wouldn't be a battle. It would be a massacre. The Galactic Council's arrogance. High Chancellor Vorshin lounged in his chamber, utterly unconcerned by the reports flooding in. The humans were mobilizing. That much was clear. But what did it matter? Their fleets were outdated, their technology primitive compared to the vast military might of the Galactic Council. The very idea that Earth could pose a threat was laughable. Preemptive strike, one of his advisors suggested. Vorshin scoffed. Why waste the effort? Let them come. When they see the full power of the Council, they will surrender. Yet across the Council's territories, a strange unease settled. The humans were too quiet, too deliberate. Intelligence reports spoke of sudden bursts of encrypted communication across their colonies. Entire fleets had gone dark. Some suspected something deeper was at play. But Vorshin did not believe in human strength. It would be his greatest mistake. The first strike, Operation Stormbringer. The attack began without warning. The Galactic Council's forward base on Raxus, 4, a fortified military outpost meant to guard against pirate incursions, vanished in an instant. Sensors barely had time to register the incoming energy spike before the sky itself ignited. A hunter-killer dreadnought, invisible to Council scans, had entered orbit and fired a single Erebus lance, a weapon long thought lost to history. The resulting impact didn't just destroy the base. It erased it, leaving nothing but a crater of molten slag. Elsewhere, deep space relays flickered and went dark as Earth stealth corvettes cut off the Council's long-range communications. Then, the Excalibur arrived at the Council's largest shipyard in the Valora system. The Council fleet stationed there, over 200 warships, never stood a chance. Human AI-driven tactical warships moved in perfect formation, utilizing gravity warp weapons and precision strikes that shattered enemy vessels in seconds. Admiral Graves watched the battle unfold from his command bridge. Council warships, so used to easy victories, were now prey. Message from the Council, Cade reported. They're demanding we stand down. Graves allowed himself a cold smile. Transmit this response. A single sentence was sent to every Council world. You have no idea what you've woken up. The fall of the first Council fleet. The Council, now realizing the full extent of their error, scrambled to respond. They mobilized their primary battle group, 3,000 warships, intending to crush humanity's forces in one overwhelming assault. They expected a conventional engagement. Instead, they found themselves facing something out of legend. The Void Walkers, Earth's finest pilots, descended upon them like wraiths. Fighters moving at impossible speeds tore through enemy formations, disrupting their battle lines before the Excalibur and its sister ships moved in. Council admirals tried to adapt, issuing rapid commands to regroup. It didn't matter. Within 6 hours, the largest fleet in Council history was gone. Wreckage drifted through the void. Survivors who tried to escape were hunted down without mercy. It was not a battle. It was retribution. The galaxy takes notice. The Galactic Council's arrogance had cost them dearly. For the first time in centuries, the Council was afraid. The humans had planned this war. They had waited for it. And now, nothing in the galaxy could stop them. The wrath of humanity. The Council's panic. Panic gripped the Galactic Council. In the span of days, Earth had shattered fleets, erased military outposts, and crippled key supply lines. Reports flooded in from every sector. Entire Council armadas were vanishing, their ships reduced to drifting wreckage. The enemy they had mocked, the species they had called weak, had become something else entirely. A nightmare. High Chancellor Vorshin sat in the war chamber, his clawed hands clenched around the stone table. Around him, representatives of the most powerful species in the Council shouted over each other. "We must sue for peace," a four-eyed diplomat from the Jurlan Dominion cried. "Humanity has outmaneuvered us at every turn. Their weapons. Our fleets cannot withstand them." "Peace," scoffed Admiral Zuros of the Krell. "They do not seek peace. They seek vengeance. We should have wiped them out centuries ago." "Then perhaps it is time we do so now," said Vorshin, his voice cutting through the chaos. "We will assemble the full might of the Council. Every ship, every soldier. We will strike at Earth itself." Silence fell over the chamber. It was a desperate move, but there were no other options. The Council had grown complacent, believing itself untouchable. Now, they would remind the humans why they had ruled the stars for so long. Vorshin turned to his war generals. "Mobilize the Crimson Armada. Every warship, every battle station. We launch an all-out assault." Across the galaxy, the Council's forces assembled. Humanity had declared war. Now, the Council would bring war to them. Earth's response: no surrender. Grand Admiral Alexander Graves stood on the bridge of the Excalibur, watching the incoming transmissions. The Council had finally understood the depth of their mistake. But it was too late. Commander Lena Cade approached, her face grim. "Our spies confirm it. The Council is throwing everything they have at us. It's an all-or-nothing assault." Graves nodded. He had expected this. "Then we break them." Cade hesitated. Some of the Council factions want to negotiate. A handful of their senators are pleading for a ceasefire. Graves stared at the tactical display, where thousands of red markers, enemy ships, converged on Earth's colonies. His response was immediate. "No negotiations. No half measures. We finish this." Across human-controlled space, fleets moved into position. The Elders' Armada, now fully awakened, gathered in the Orion Nebula, the perfect battlefield for the final confrontation. The humans had not just prepared for war. They had engineered this war. The time for diplomacy had passed. The Battle of Orion's Graveyard. The largest battle in galactic history began with fire. The Crimson Armada, the combined might of the Galactic Council, arrived in the Orion Nebula expecting an easy victory. Instead, they found a trap. Earth's fleets had chosen their battleground carefully. The nebula's dense particle clouds interfered with long-range scans and energy weapons, nullifying many of the Council's technological advantages. Then the Void Walkers struck. Human fighter squadrons moved in coordinated, impossible formations, weaving through enemy ships at speeds Council pilots couldn't match. AI-assisted targeting allowed them to strike with pinpoint accuracy, tearing apart capital ships from the inside. Then came the warships. The Excalibur, leading the charge, unleashed its primary weapon, the Oblivion Lance. A single, concentrated energy beam sliced through an entire battle formation, reducing thousands of enemy vessels to burning debris. Council admirals scrambled to reorganize. It didn't matter. The Elders' Armada had been designed for a war against a far greater threat. an enemy that once threatened to consume the entire galaxy. Against the Council's outdated strategies, it was overkill. For every human ship destroyed, 10 Council ships fell. The battle lasted 6 hours. When the smoke cleared, the Crimson Armada no longer existed. The fall of the Council. The survivors fled. The once mighty Council forces, so confident in their superiority, now scattered like insects before the coming storm. Humanity did not let them escape. Fleet after fleet pursued the broken remnants of the Council's military, striking down any ship that dared retreat. Within days, the Council's core worlds lay exposed. The last remaining fleets had either been destroyed or surrendered outright. And now, there was only one target left. The Galactic Council's homeworld, Prime Eternum. Admiral Graves stood on the bridge of the Excalibur, watching the final battle plans unfold. The time had come to end this war. Cade stepped forward. Shall we offer them a chance to surrender? Graves didn't look away from the holographic display of the Council's capital. No, he said. They made their choice the day they executed a human child. The order was given. The fleets moved forward. And Earth's vengeance would soon be complete. A galaxy on its knees. The end of the Galactic Council. The skies above Prime Eternum, the heart of the Galactic Council, burned. What had once been the untouchable core of galactic civilization, a symbol of power, order, and absolute dominance, was now a battlefield. Human warships filled the void, their dark hulls gliding through the wreckage of shattered defense stations. Smoke and fire choked the atmosphere as precision orbital strikes crippled planetary infrastructure. Humanity had come to finish what the Council had started. On the bridge of the Excalibur, Grand Admiral Alexander Graves watched as the final battle unfolded. Reports streamed in from ground forces. The capital districts had fallen. The last Council strongholds were crumbling. Cities that had once stood for millennia were now reduced to ruins. A transmission came through. High Chancellor Vorshin, bloodied and defeated, appeared on the main display. His once regal robes were tattered, his elongated face contorted with a mixture of rage and fear. "This is madness," he spat. "We are the foundation of the galaxy. You cannot destroy us without throwing everything into chaos." Graves remained silent for a moment, letting the weight of those words settle. Then he spoke. "You didn't care about chaos when you executed a human child." Vorshin's mouth opened, but no words came. Graves continued, his voice calm, final. "Your rule is over. The Council is finished." Vorshin's eyes flickered with desperation. You don't understand. If you destroy us, you create a power vacuum. There will be war across the galaxy. You need us." Graves leaned forward. "No, we don't." The transmission cut off. The final strike. With the press of a single command, Earth's fleets opened fire. The Excalibur unleashed the Oblivion Lance, its superweapon carving a molten scar across the planet's surface. Human dreadnoughts targeted key governmental districts, erasing what remained of the Council's leadership. The Void Walkers, Earth's elite soldiers, moved through the ruins, securing surrender from those who still clung to life. There would be no mercy for those who had ordered the death of Elias Carter. Within hours, the war was over. The Galactic Council was dead. The dawn of a new order. As the fires of war settled, the galaxy watched in stunned silence. Worlds once ruled by the Council stood on the precipice of an uncertain future. Some feared Earth would claim dominion, replacing the Council with an even harsher rule. Others wondered if humanity would withdraw, leaving the galaxy fractured and leaderless. Instead, humanity did something unexpected. They did not seize control. There were no conquests, no declarations of supreme authority. Instead, Earth issued a single statement, broadcast to every world in the known galaxy. "We are not here to rule. We are here to ensure that no species, no civilization, will ever suffer under tyrants again. We remember the crimes of the Council, and we remember our own past. Let this be the last war fought for power. Let the stars be free." It was not a message of conquest. It was a warning. The Council had believed Earth was weak. Now, the galaxy understood the truth. Humanity had not sought war, but when war came, they had ended it. And if another empire rose to threaten them, Earth would rise again. A new future. Years passed. The galaxy reshaped itself. Former Council worlds formed their own independent alliances, forging a new era of cooperation and self-governance. Humanity did not involve itself in their politics. They had made their point. On Earth, a monument stood in the center of the rebuilt United Terran Directorate Hall. A statue of Elias Carter, the boy whose unjust death had set history into motion. Beneath it, an inscription read, "Never again." The final scene, a human child, no older than Elias had been, walks through a peaceful, thriving city. Above them, ships glide across the sky, not as weapons of war, but as vessels of exploration and discovery. The galaxy would never forget what humanity had done, but more importantly, they would never dare make the same mistake again.